Abraham Lincoln was born in 1809 in a log cabin at Sinking Spring Farm, 3 miles south of Hodgenville, Kentucky. We started our time in the visitor center. A small display shows the Lincoln family tree and items that would have likely been used for life on the farm. Before you leave, be sure to stamp your passport. I'll leave a link in the description for those of you who are interested in learning more. The Birthplace site is wheelchair accessible. We chose the boardwalk for a scenic approach to the Beaux-Arts neoclassical style memorial building. Abraham Lincoln lived here the first 2 years of his life. The legacy of traveling from a pioneer cabin to the White House is considered remarkable by many. We stopped to enjoy the view before heading over to the Boundary Oak Trail. This is a little quarter-mile or so loop which leads through the woods and connects back to the rear of the Birthplace site building. In 1811, there was a title dispute and the Lincoln family was forced to leave this area. They relocated to Knob Creek, which is where we're heading next. After losing a title dispute, Thomas and Nancy Lincoln moved approximately 10 miles northeast to Knob Creek with their children Sarah and Abraham. They leased 30 acres of bottomland along the Old Cumberland Trail, today marked as U.S. Highway 31E. Abraham Lincoln's earliest memories are of the time he spent here with his family as a little boy. In 1815, another dispute arose over this area, so Thomas Lincoln moved his family to Spencer County, Indiana, which is where we're headed next. It's about a 2-hour drive to the Lincoln Boyhood National Monument in Lincoln City, Indiana. As I walked up to this memorial, I was struck by each sculpture and inscription that portray significant moments in the life of Abraham Lincoln. For example, surely each man has as strong a motive now to preserve our liberties as each had then to establish them. As a strong proponent for liberty, you can see why studying the life of this president has captured my attention. Inside the memorial, I entered Abraham Lincoln Hall. It is a point of reflection designed to show the greatness yet simplicity of the man Abraham Lincoln was. I found myself admiring the woodwork and craftsmanship of this room. The Lincoln family lived here from 1816 to 1830. This would have been age 7 to 21 in the life of Abraham. The museum exhibits in the visitor center helped us learn about Abraham's family, boyhood, and life on the frontier. On the other end of this memorial is a hall dedicated to Nancy Lincoln, Abraham's mother. I ran out of time to explore this section before staff needed to close for lunch hour from noon to 1. Keep that in mind when you plan your visit. Next, I headed out to find the Trail of 12 Stones. This is a half-mile trail that leads to the Lincoln Homestead. The path highlights major events in the life of Abraham Lincoln. Each stone was taken from a location of significance. The Peterson House porch pillar, where Lincoln died in Washington, D.C. The rock Lincoln stood to deliver the Gettysburg Address in Pennsylvania. The Anderson Cottage where Lincoln wrote the Emancipation Proclamation in Washington, D.C. The White House in Washington, D.C. Bricks from Mary Todd's home in Lexington, Kentucky. Pictured here. The foundation of the Barry Lincoln store in New Salem, Illinois. A foundation stone from the Vincennes Sun newspaper in Vincennes, Illinois. A foundation stone from the Williams Jones store. Abraham worked as a clerk 3 miles west of here. A stone from Abraham Lincoln's birthplace at Sinking Spring Farm in Hodgenville, Kentucky. The Capitol building where Lincoln gave his second inaugural address in Washington, D.C. The original cabin site marker a few hundred feet away. Please note these are not in chronological order, but you can find an organized list online. As I made my way up to the homestead, I was pleasantly surprised to find horses and sheep grazing peacefully. A bronze casting of sill logs and fireplace hearthstones symbolizes a cabin the Lincolns began building in 1829. Exploring this homestead was like stepping into the pages of history, engaging the viewer with what it was really like to live during this time on the frontier. There were chickens wandering and a garden in process. This is where the livestock would have been kept. The chicken coop, and a tool shed. Next, I followed a path through the woods to the spring used by the Lincoln family. I found myself imagining what it must have been like to carry their water uphill from this location every day. Coming back, I paused to take in this beautiful clearing, which served as farmland for the Lincoln family. There is a restroom located along the half-mile trail back. Toward the end of your journey on this trail, you will find a pioneer cemetery. Abraham's mother Nancy died when he was 9 years old from milk sickness. His father remarried Sarah Johnston in 1819. Both of their markers are here. Today, more than 225 statues honor Abraham Lincoln nationwide. This is more than any other figure in American history. If you enjoy this type of video, don't forget to click subscribe. We put out a new video every Saturday morning. See you on the next endeavor.